All right, a beautiful morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Blossom. We're exciting as always to be here. It's Tuesday, and of course, it's the 15th of July 2020. And of course, today is a public holiday where we have to share condolences with the family of the former late president, Buhari. Well, like they said yesterday, and we are saying again today, his perfect soul, or may so rest in perfect peace. Okay, anyways, you can join us live on Facebook and on YouTube at Galaxy TV News, and of course on Facebook it's Galaxy Television, or you can download the app on Google Play Store or Apple Play Store to watch this program live, or go to our digitized channel at Richard 27. Not doing this alone as usual. I have my co-host with me, Patricia. Patricia, good morning.
Good morning, Blossom. I see the holidays doing so well in you. Your face remains is so calm this morning. But anyways, like Rose Blossom said, we are mourning the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari. We pray that your soul rest in perfect peace. And then those that are going to be flying to Daria for the burial today, we ask that you all stay safe out there and don't cry too much. I mean, he was old enough to have left us, and he left some good legacies behind. Anyway, welcome to Women's Corner on Galaxy Television this morning. My name is Patricia Uwin Gabriels.
Yes, of course, we have our guest seated today in the studio. Of course, she's been in the studio before, but should I say that was years ago? I'm kidding anyway. But she joined us via Zoom several times, and she's here again. I know to talk about an interesting topic, and of course a little bit about their project, which is upcoming. Well, we have in the studio Success Olaleye Asuyo. It's good to have you.
Same here. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Your smile is just contagious.
So they say. Thank you so much for having me as always.
And I'm certain the topic we have for today, you're ready to dissect, divert, integrate, whatever it is. Shall let everybody understand what we're talking about. And today, funny enough, we're talking about something quite interesting and different. More like something we usually don't really dive in. But because we have someone perfect to talk about that, we had to bring her to the studio so she could do justice to the topic. Today's topic is about, as she coined, demystifying policy. And of course, this is about how every woman can go about the system, how you can balance the system, how you can lead, how you can empower, how you can motivate yourself. You just have to be involved in the system. So the system does not end up controlling us. Mm-hmm. We have to be part of people controlling the system. Anyways, before we start talking about what we have today, let's quickly go on a short break. And after that, we'll be having a tip. Then we'll come back to continue the program with Success. My head was about to say success story. No, she's Success. So we're talking about something else. But anyways, we'll be right back. Stay with us. Still get a while. All right. Welcome back. Yes, you're watching Women's Corner. And of course, we'll just start with what we have because time is fast spent. So yes, because we're talking about policies and women getting involved. So my first question is, why do we talk about policies? Because trust me, men would always talk about policy. They will always believe in policy. They will always want to break policies. But it's rare for you to hear women talk about policy. All they tend to want to do most times, except for the career ones or the ones that want to move forward in the industry, they tend to want to ask questions to know which suits them. So, but why policy? And of course, because people believe it's a big word, right? So how do you think everyone, both the young adults and women, especially, we're focusing on women now, can actually get involved with policies, understand policies, and work towards even, amending policies or rejecting or writing up policies and, making it better for us, to be able to function properly in the system?
I love the question. Thank you so much. I love where we're starting from.
Yes.
You said it sounds like a big word. And, that's one key thing I've observed too, that, policy sounds like a far-fetched thing. It sounds like something that, simple, everyday people are not meant to understand. It sounds like something that is just meant for only those who are in politics. May I say that policy is not politics? And understanding what policy is about, understanding the role policy plays and the role you play in influencing policy is way beyond politics. It's about the people. It's about leadership. We can't even speak about government in the first place without talking about the people. Yeah, and yes, without talking about policy. So why do we need to know about policy? Why do we need to get involved in policy? The first thing is, it takes understanding something to influence it. If you don't understand something, if you don't understand how it works, if you don't understand what it is at the most basic level, you can't say, okay, let's change it. It takes you seeing that there is a bad road before you can say, let's fix it. Or who do we talk to? Who do we talk to get it fixed? So basically, to say why are we talking about policy and why do we all need to know about policy is to say, why do we need to have a working country? Or why do we need to have a nation that is working? Because we don't want to talk policy, because policy sounds ambiguous, sounds far-fetched, sounds like something in Abuja. So it's really where it comes from. It's really more than that. Interestingly, that's where it comes from. Or that's where, at the end of the day, everything we do at the grassroots level still goes back to it. What you do in the bread that somebody bought this morning, for whatever amount they bought it, policy is the reason why the bread is at the price. Policy is the reason why, there is electricity, is the reason why there is not electricity supply, where there is no electricity supply. So we need to understand policy because we need to understand the systems that, manage the lives we live on a daily basis. It's just like people saying, nothing concern me, nothing concern me. My dear, it will concern you one day. So basically, that's it at the most basic level. It's about how, the systems and the communities and the country we live in is being governed. It's what, shapes, our daily living. It's what determines the prices in the market. It's what determines if you get healthcare. It's what determines if you can even travel out of your country with your passport.
Blossom, she said something that most of us is nothing concern me. I say that a lot too. It doesn't concern me. I mean, whatever they do, whatever policy they put doesn't affect me. I will still do what I need to do. So, but you are saying that it must concern us. How does it concern us?
I love that.
Yes, how does it concern us?
I like that. So, how it concerns us is a very good question because we want to look at first what's policy. And in a very simplified way, policy is the set of rules or set of rules. Let me leave it at that. So I don't want to sound because that's even the goal, not to sound over people's head. It's just like the set of rules and lay down principles that, the government or the leaders of a particular community or society or organization or group has laid and has established to determine how things are being run in that place. So how it concerns us is that, okay, take for example, a new tax law has been signed, right? And it's going to take effect from 2026.
Okay.
Now, how that concerns me is that if I'm not earning up to a particular amount, I don't get taxed. And it means more money for me to buy more things I need. Do you see, ma'am? So it has to do with how the organization, how the community, how the society, how our dear country, and even how the continent at large is being, governed. And it concerns us because at the end of the day, whatever policy is made up there, interestingly, affects us down here much more
than even.
In fact, we are the one who should be involved in policy. So I guess I've answered your question.
Yes, so now in continuity to what you just said now, you just talked about that no matter the policy made up there, it will touch everybody last, right? And in fact, it touches women the most. The most, right? Because we are the one that always outside on the streets. We're trying to, it touches us more.
No, it shouldn't touch us more.
Yeah.
It should touch everybody equally.
No, it will touch everybody equally. But you know why? For mothers, because we have a lot of role. You're a mother, you're a wife, and you're a person for yourself. So that's like 3 different.
Anyway, before we move forward, someone has just mentioned 2026. So that means we still have 2026.
You know why? Because
Thank you so much.
Are always 2027. No one is even saying about 2026. But of course, because of this policy for tax, which of course they just brought up, they said 2026. Even as the last year, 2024, let's say from like October, September, all we were hearing was January. This policy is gonna kickstart January 2025. January, everyone was scared of January 2025 because every policy was about to kick off that time. Now, interestingly, how can one simplify or understand what policy is? Like, how can we take it to the streets, to the woman that is selling pepper, the woman that is selling bread, to the ones in their office that think I'm good, I have my car, I have my house? How can we take it to this person and touch everybody?
Yeah. I have my car, I have my house, but you still queue for petrol in the police station. So it's really touching everybody, and how we can take it to the streets. That's why we have civil society organizations who I like to call them partner to the government. Because one thing we must always emphasize, or we must always see, is no matter how we see the government will always be there. The government will always be there. So it's our own duty to now say, okay, how can we partner with the government to ensure that they lead us right, to ensure that they do the things that we need? Because there are certain things that the government do not even see. I know we say this on the streets many times, that maybe the government knows that. Sometimes the government does not know, because the government is not queuing with you in so general hospital to get healthcare.
Or buying fuel at
the filling station.
So don't they have workers, it's not the government. We're talking about the government, okay? So we're talking about the presidency, the House of Senate, reps, it goes like that.
Yeah.
And they have people working under them, because you're saying they don't know we're queuing to buy fuel. They don't know we're queuing in the hospital. They don't know, because there's a story about the hospital harassment in Abuja, the accidental person that they brought in, and you know the story. Yes, the government is standing responsible for it right now, and attentions have been paid towards that. So they know. That's my own perception. I think they know.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not necessarily saying they don't know they don't know what we're going through. What I'm trying to say is, how do they know? It's because people tell them,
but they don't understand.
Tell them till it gets to them. I'm saying that we must continue to amplify our voices.
Okay.
That's like, maybe let me correct that. That's what I'm trying to say, that we must continue to amplify our voices. And to answer what Blossom said about how do we take this to the street, I was trying to say that's why we have non-governmental organizations who partner with the government, not directly, but indirectly, by saying this is the concern of the people. And we're taking the concern to the people. There are organizations like that. And there are organizations like ours who are saying there are people who do not even know that they can hold their local government chairman accountable.
Yeah.
So we want to educate the people so that we are all on the same level playing ground of knowledge. We all have the knowledge. We all have the education to know that we can actually even raise demands. People do not even know that there is a document called Charter of Document. People do not even know that you can actually document everything you need and say, this is what we need in this society, in this community. This is what we need in this local government. And it has worked in the past. It's just that we do not have a lot of people who are educated. And I was trying to say something about why it affects women the most. Whether we like it or not, I remember we talked about pressure sometimes. Whether we like it or not, women are still the ones saddled the most with trying to make do with whatever money is on the table to feed the children.
Yeah.
Women are the ones who feel the pangs the most if their children are being sent home from school. I'm not saying there aren't responsible men out there who also feel these things, but women feel it much more. And the reason women must step into the game of having these conversations, whether on the street or wherever else.
So that brings me, so what is stopping women? What is that challenge that women are having to be
participating?
Building this policy of, being in front row. What's stopping us?
First thing, culture.
Culture.
Yeah. There is this cultural stereotype, that over the years, especially in the African context, there is a boxing. Women have been boxed. I know the status quo is changing, the storyline is changing and all of that. But over the years, that cultural stereotype, when a woman wants to step out, she steps in again and says, let them not say my own is too much. Let them not say I'm the one. Let them not say, since she did not have a husband at all.
Yes, controlling her.
So there is that cultural stereotype that first of all boxes a woman up. Even though if a woman wants to speak up, there is that fear. There is that fear of, will I not be shut up? Will I not be seen as a domineering woman? Will I not be seen as being egoistic? These things actually, the cultural expectation of her, she's a woman now, you see if a woman is running, and that's not exactly the topic for today, but let's say it. If you see a woman running and a man running, you'll see that there would be, even from the party, there may be problems already, challenges arising.
I want to bring back 20 was it 2023 that brought in this government to power. I remember what the president said about Funke Akindele, when she was running for. So, you saying it now just brought that back to me, because I remember the statement he made about her. So do you think that's the challenges women are facing?
You see, because even from inside, women are already facing that trouble. They're already facing that challenge. But I think, even with Women's Corner and even with many other programs, yes, because I know we've had a similar conversation sometimes ago with programs like this, with talks like this, and even with projects like we're doing at Africa Rising, it helps to go down to grassroots level and reorient the woman. That woman, you can. We're not saying that you should shut the man up. We're just saying that there is so much God has deposited in you. Even in leadership, you can take your space. And then in policy, women are the ones in the market the most. They are the ones who can come together. They have unions. They have associations. They can actually go out there to say, okay, we want to demand that this road be fixed, for example. At least this local road. Let's even start from the basic, from the grassroots. You understand? So I feel like women have a lot of role to play, and that's somehow one of the reasons why we seem to be boxed up, because people know that when women step up, when women really want to do something, they do it without, they do it so well.
Just to go chip it and go for a short break. I don't know, they do it very well, but I just want to say this in driving. Why is it that whenever they see someone driving anyhow, or it's too slow, or it's not turning well, say, now woman, they drive that car. Why is it like that? Is that also part of culture?
I hear it a lot.
Is it, you drive? So don't you hear that a lot?
Well, when I hear it, it pisses me off.
Of course.
It pisses me off because women are the best drivers.
I agree.
Because we're very careful. Our thoughts are going to the children at home. If anything happened to me, who will take care of my children? So you're driving with every care that you can. But when you drive so slow to be careful, you hear them say, now woman,
yeah.
Very annoying. Very, very annoying. So we're going to go in on
it. Truly annoying.
Anyways, we'll go for a break. Just in reaction to that, some women will tell you, I'd rather drive my kids to school than let my husband drive my kids to school.
I do that.
Because
yes, I used to do that. And when it's time for school, I'll take them to school. And he says, no, you want to go here, you want to do that. I said, no, it's okay. It's
and
okay,
it's interesting. That's the same way women are careful when making decisions in leadership.
Yeah.
Women, yes, they make it look like because we're emotional beings, but the truth is, because we're even emotional beings, it's even the reason why we make the right decision, because we understand what people are going through.
And so we make the decisions and whatever it is. Anyways, let's go for a short break and be right back to continue talking about women, policy, and the system. This time around, maybe we'll just switch over to project. Let's know what's going on with your project, because I know that's part of the reasons why you're here. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. Let's quickly go for a break and another tip, and we can do the program. Stay with us. All right. Thank you very much. Well, maybe you should come and pair the screen, I do. Anyways, it's good to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, that is for babies. Remember, we're still talking about women, so it's all about women. So in continuity, we're talking about demistifying policies and making sure that women get involved in policy making and, of course, in leadership roles too. So obviously we have one last question for Patricia, definitely before we talk about our project. So you have the floor.
Did you say the question for Patricia?
No, we have one more question for Patricia.
Anyway, she's going to be talking about her project, but I quickly want to ask her this question. And so, success.
Yeah.
Yes. So the women watching this today, what is their take home? What do you think they can take home from this, all this we've talked about?
All right. So I think for women watching this, the first thing is to understand that you wield the power to not just vote, to not just put your government in that place where they are right now, but to also hold them accountable. To also help them to make the right decisions for you, for your children, for your family. And it's as simple as, it can be as simple as you're in a group, you're in an association of women, you are in, maybe even a market woman, and they usually do have an association.
Yes,
It's as good as asking, who is my local government chairman? How can I reach to my local government chairman? How can I suggest that this is what we're going through in this community? And this is how I think, because sometimes I have observed that the answers to the questions that leaders ask more often than not lies within the followers or lies within the people that they lead. And sometimes even the iyalata, if I could use that word, or mama that sells eko, or mama that sells ogi, ask the answer to the question that the government is even asking. How can we help to alleviate poverty for these people? Or how can we help to, provide great healthcare amenities? So it's as simple as from where you are, begin to ask questions. And that's why one of the things that, we're going to talk about my project, right? One of the things we're doing is we're asking questions and we're asking people to ask questions. Because when you don't ask questions, you don't even get answers. Of course, yes. So basically, start by understanding who your local government chairman is, and then ask questions.
As good as it sounds, I am thinking as a Nigerian woman. I'm sorry if I'm going to drag you backward.
Okay, it's fine.
Now, you say we could start as low as asking who our local government chairman is, or even the councillor. How do we get access to such people? Because you know how it is in Nigeria. So I am thinking like a typical Nigerian woman now. You need connections to get to these people. These people have become so mighty. They've turned themselves to be very mighty. They're protected every corner. How does this common woman, the Alata like you have described, get to close to this person?
Great. I love that question because it just drives us closer to what we're going to the streets to do and to talk about how you can actually get access. Because the truth is, we think access is far-fetched, but it's not as far-fetched as we think. The truth is, there are representatives of every society, every community, every association that actually reach to this people. And sometimes they ask questions. They may not do everything that you have laid out, but sometimes they ask questions. We want to know what the people actually need from these representatives. So when you ask questions, when you know who your local government chairman is, you know who is representing you, either as a youth, because sometimes you have youth leaders in every community.
True.
And if you are a young person, for example, and you say, okay, I'm watching this and this is my take home, I'm going to ask questions. I know my local government chairman, I've identified this problem within my community, and I think this is something they need to pick up and something they need to do. Then one of the other things you want to do is say, who is my youth leader? And when you find that person is your key to the room where your local government chairman or whoever is leading your society, your community, or your local government is staying in. So you have to know that has to be put in place. And like I was trying to say about shelter of demand the other time, it's when people come together and at the most basic level again, I cannot break it down all on TV right now, but it's where people come together and say, it's not everything that shouting used to do. It's not every time tension. Sometimes you write, you keep writing, and that's why they always have literate people, even among all those associations and unions who keep writing and, throwing these documents to the government. And the truth is, you may not get results immediately. But trust me, when we keep educating everybody and everybody keeps getting to know about all those things, one day the results will come together. And that's what we are seeing playing out now.
Okay.
So what's your project?
So let's talk about street project because you've already said so much and I'm wondering, so what's street project about? Because I know this is exactly what you want to do. And so please educate us more on that.
Okay, so thank you for having me and allowing me to speak about street project. So the Africa Rising Street Project majorly is us taking to the street to educate people about what they need to do and what they need to know to be able to not just hold their leaders accountable, but to also be able to engage their civic rights. It's not just about waiting till election and then we're making so much noise. It's about, do we even know what we need to know to be able to make the right decision? So the street project is actually in different phases, but the one we're currently running or starting with is the one where we are demystifying policy, where we are simplifying policies. In fact, let me drop the English, the demystify policy, where we are simply making policy make sense. You know, they will say, make it make sense to me. This way they talk now, make it make sense to me. We're going at a street level. We're meeting people and we're speaking the language they understand. We're saying, Mama Shema, ètò ìjọba wà fún yín. Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ bá béèrè, lérè ètò ìjọba gbà. We're saying that to them, that do you know that there is such a thing as maybe an allocation for you to get this and get that? Do you know there is a policy that backs this up? But if you do not ask, or if you are not aware of it, you won't even be able to receive it. You know, many times the reason why we do not access certain things is because we don't even know it exists. As much as we say, you know, there are things here and there that we really want to play out as citizens in Nigeria and all that. Do you know that even with that, there are still some hidden, should I call them benefits now, but Nigerians don't know that they have access to.
Yeah.
So these are things that we want to do with this project. That, see, government has actually made provision for this. It's just like this tax law that I cited as an example earlier on. The truth is, if you don't claim some things, if you don't know about it and you don't claim, you will still, the money will be there. It's your right now because government has signed it, government has approved it and all that, but you will still not benefit it. So we're going to the street, and when we say streets, we're not just going to talk to maybe not just the unlearned or the uneducated. We're seeing a banker, we're talking about, you know, stuff that has to do with the economic and financial policy. We're seeing a pharmacist or a medical doctor, we're talking healthcare. We're seeing someone in the educational sector. We're talking education and all that. So we really want to just make this happen in such a way that people know what they need to know, and people are able to do what they need to do by holding their government accountable. So that's what the streets project is about.
Okay. So where is the streets thing starting from?
Okay. So we're starting from Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. That's where we're starting from, but we're taking it down to as many streets, as many communities as we can have access to. But we're starting from Ibadan, and that's one of the reasons why we need more partners. We need more people to, you know, come on board and join us with this, to be able to amplify our voices, because we obviously can't do it alone.
Okay, so one more question. Is it going to be a town hall thing, like you put in, you're moving from street to street?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that question. So what we intend to do, and what we're starting out with, is we're going to be going into streets, like marketplaces. We're going to start with marketplaces. We're going to start with, you know, places where communities are gathered, even bus stops where anybody and everybody passes through. That's where we're starting from. And then we're moving to campuses. Okay. We're going to be moving to University of Ibadan, because the young people, the youths that are coming up, they need to know these things. They need to understand that not just am I going to shape policy because whether we like it or not, the student who is studying maybe chemistry today, maybe the president of Nigeria tomorrow. And when they've come across some of the things that shape their mindset and shape their thinking, because we're a product of what we have experienced growing up. And whether we like it or not, even if we enter a system that is worked, because we have that right mindset. You know, I talk about mindset a lot, and it's because I've seen it play out in everything from family to even system building. So we're trying to build systems from the streets by making sure that not just holding your leaders accountable, not just pointing out what needs to be solved at this time, but also shaping the mind of the next generation. In fact, that's key for us at Africa Rising.
Honestly, I love what you are about to do, and
you know, I'm feeling like joining.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on board, because if we had the time, media partners, we were open to you guys joining us.
So already with all this thing you've said, there's no need to start asking what's the vision, what's the aim, because you already said that, and you guys have to go. So when is this project kickstarting?
So it's kickstarting by the 9th of August, 2025.
9th of August, 2025. Is it a day project? Or
for the first phase, which we call pilot phase, it's just going to be for a day. But we're going to move out, as the project pans out, as funding comes in, as, as much as we get partners on board, and, we're just going to expand. But for this pilot scale, we're doing just one day first. And then we're going to run it online too. Yes, I forgot to mention that. We're going to, as much as we're having the physical street projects in one day, we're going to run the online campaign, where we're now going to break it down for our online audience on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so
now,
I want to know
want to be part of this.
Who are those involved? I need to even know who are involved before we start thinking of
Okay, that's a good question. So the organization that is organizing this is Africa Rising Initiative, and I'm serving as the project officer for this project.
Okay.
Right? So Africa Rising Initiative, majorly the goal is to empower women and young people to be able to take on transformative leadership, and also to ensure that every Nigerian is armed with the right policy knowledge. And that's why we're talking about policy and all that. And we're also currently we're building partnership at the moment with some other NGOs like Civic Hive and all that. So you get to know more about it. You get to hear more about it.
Yes, now, so to reach you people, and to also maybe someone wants to be part of it, want to share, want to partnership or anything, so how can they get to you?
Okay, so they can actually reach out to us at Africa Rising. Africa is spelled AFRICHER. So instead of saying A after your Africa, it's Africa. Like HER. Yes. Africa, then the normal spelling Rising. RISING. Africa Rising on Instagram. They can also send us a mail at info@africarising.org.
I just want to follow you guys now.
Please follow us.
Yes, we will be following you.
Thank you so much.
Our time is fast spent, and we need to wrap up the show. But I would like to say this. First of all, thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you so much for educating us women to also be part of the policy making. We need to know which needs to be changed, which needs to be reformed, or which one needs to be taken away.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being part of the show. You enjoyed the show.
So much. Oh, I did, and thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me to come over and talk about everything we've talked about today. I mean, I find it very interesting, and I love the drama.
You love the vibe.
Thank you so much.
I wish you could get your shoes. She's wearing a very lovely shoe, and I love legs. When you have nice legs, I just love it. Anyways, it's been fun. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We will be seeing you pretty soon in just a few minutes. What we're talking about was buzzing and trending on social media. And of course, till then, do not change the station. Still Galaxy TV. I'll see you soon. My name is Ruth Ross, and bye for now.